How you do one thing is how you do everything. What's up, you guys? Famous Ashley Grant here. Welcome to More Movement, Please, the podcast where I hope to inspire you to move your body more. Today, I want to talk about the idea that how you do one thing is how you do everything. Basically, this was taught to me in a class that I was taking about money mindset. And it kind of got me to thinking that, is it true? And after more than 300 days of movement, I have to tell y'all, it kind of is. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, let's explain what I mean by that. When you start showing up for yourself, that's when a lot of things change. So, when I started moving more and committing to myself and deciding that I was going to really get serious about fitness, that's when I started recognizing a lot of the other ways that I was not showing up for myself in my life. Some of the things that have happened since I started really committing to myself include, but aren't limited to, starting to focus on what I'm eating more, starting to look for the clients that I actually want to work with. I actually started a high yield savings account. I moved some of my money into a high yield savings account and just other things like that. Like I started purging more. I started getting rid of a lot of the clutter in my life. I started letting go of clutter around the house, clutter in my emails, even clutter in my cloud storage and my hard drive, all the things. And it's just interesting how when you start really showing up for yourself and committing to the fact that, hey, I'm wanting to make a change for my life. I want to better my life. You start recognizing all the places that you weren't taking care of yourself before, or at least that's been my experience. And so it's kind of wild to me that when I started this whole thing more than 300 days ago, the goal was simply to start taking better care of my physical health. But it's fascinating to me that along the way, I've started taking care of my mental health, my emotional health, my financial health, even my spiritual health. I've made jokes before that, in class is when I pray the most. I've said that so many times, like, please, God, don't let me pass out. Please, God, don't let me throw up. Please, God, let me get through this next rep, that kind of stuff. But the reality is, it goes way beyond that. I pray more now than I ever have in my whole life. I mean, it's kind of wild to me just how much I'm committing to spirituality. And I don't necessarily mean, in the ways some people may think of it, because um, I've never really talked about this before, but I had some bad experiences with, the institution of church, as it were. And so when I say that I've gotten more spiritual, no, I'm not saying that I've started going to church all the time and things like that, which I know is much to the chagrin of my mother and some other people in my life. But the truth is, I have found my way back to God in ways that I never in a million years anticipated. I never thought that something like going to the gym more and showing up for myself would be the thing that would make me start showing up in so many aspects of my life. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, it's not been easy. It has been a rough year. And I mean, because the truth is that life is hard. Like, there's no sugarcoating that. There's no, dancing around that. The truth is, sometimes some aspects of life absolutely suck. But I am grateful that the more I show up for myself, the easier it is for me to handle the stuff that's coming to me. And I'm one of those people that believes in some of the woo woo. I like the manifestation and the law of attraction of it all. And I have started to really hone in on the fact that life is not happening to me. It's happening for me. I'm starting to really focus on that. And I'm starting to focus on, um, you know, the universe meeting you halfway, so to speak. That's one of the things I learned from my money mindset mentor, Denise Duffield Thomas, is she said, yeah, there's law of attraction and you can try to just attract things into your life, but it doesn't mean there's no action. That's one of the big things about the law of attraction. What actually makes it work is the action. You have to meet the universe halfway and show that you are willing to show up, because as you start showing up, that's when you start bringing other things into your life. So in addition to finally showing up for myself financially and spiritually and mentally, and emotionally, honestly, like I've cut some people out of my life that, I was starting to realize were toxic. I have started really, you know, nurturing the friendships that mean the most to me. I've really started to focus on the things that are for my highest good. Like that's the best way I can put it is I'm focusing on the things that I know are for my highest good. And it's it's been a really interesting journey how I do fitness is how I'm doing everything. I if you had told me a year ago, and I've said this before, if you told me a year ago some of the things that are in my life now would be in my life, I wouldn't have believed it because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see that something as simple as starting to work out would change so many other things. And so basically, the whole point of this episode is I want to tell you that if you're wanting to make a change in your life, if you're wanting to start really bringing the magic into your life, start showing up for yourself. It is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I mean, like I won't tell you that this year has been a year of rainbows and unicorns because the truth is it hasn't. There have been some bad things that have happened, but that's just the way life is, right? It is not like every single day is magic. Even though there is magic in every day, it's not like every day is just sunshine and roses. It's just not. And I'm recognizing just how important it is that even in those moments, especially in those moments, that's when it is so critical that I still show up for myself. That's when it's critical that if I've made a decision, even though it sometimes hurts to have made that decision, I have to stand by it. So, like one of those decisions was that I decided that I'm not going to go to the gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore. And y'all, it's only been 2 weeks and I'm still really struggling with the fact that I made that decision. It's very difficult for me to accept that I've made that decision, but there's a reason for it. And though I can't really get into it right now, I have to stand by that commitment, just like I had to stand by the commitment that I was going to be the more movement please girl, just like I had to stand by the commitment that I am going to show up for myself and work out and move every single day. I am moving every single day. I may not be moving as much as I want to, but I am moving every single day. And that's important to me. So long story short, I want you guys to start showing up for yourself. If you are listening to this and you are feeling like something is lacking in your life, if you're listening to this and you're feeling like something just doesn't feel right, maybe it's the fact that you're not showing up for yourself. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And I want you to make the one thing that you do this week is to start showing up for yourself. Start showing up for yourself. I want you to do that because even though it won't make things easier, in fact, in a lot of ways, it'll start making things harder first. It's going to get better and it's going to get better and then it's going to get better. And these things compound on themselves. And so I want that for you. I hope this was inspirational for you. I hope this message moves you to start showing up for yourself. And if you would like to share your journey with me, I would love to hear from you. Head to famousashlygrant.com/fitness. Or if you have a tip that you want to share with my movers and shakers, if you're in the fitness industry and you want to share, something about fitness, I would love to hear from y'all. famousashlygrant.com/fitness. Thank you so much for tuning in. Onwards and upwards, my friends. Have you worked out today?